All right. We are now in the month of Aquarius, starting today, Wednesday, January 19th. The sun moves into the sign of Aquarius from Capricorn. It moves in, I believe, at 6:39 on the West Coast. That makes it 9:39 on the East Coast. So here I am for number 5 of my tarot astrology profile series. So what I'm doing is each month I'm introducing just some characteristics um, of the influences of the astrological sign representing that month. Also the planet or planets, there could be more than one, like for Aquarius, their influence for that sign of Aquarius, and also the major arcana card or cards that are associated with that particular sign and those planets. Also, I will throw in the house that is associated. We have 12 houses in astrology, which goes in line for the 12 signs um, of the astrology wheel. So, here for Aquarius, um, and this will be very general. This isn't a in-depth uh, focus on these signs. I do have some videos that I talk about the planets and the signs and their influences, but more in the realm of the decans. So you can look at that in my playlist, um, where I have, I think, one video where I'm talking about 3 hours um, about the decans and their influences throughout the major arcana and minor arcana. But let's just focus right now on Aquarius. So Aquarius, again, starts today, January 19th, and it takes us all the way to February 17th. And then on the 18th, Aquarius uh, moves out of its position of the solar ruler and welcomes in Pisces. Pisces winds down the end of our astrological wheel of the year. We'll talk about that in about a month's time to focus on Piscean energy. So Aquarius, okay, so Aquarius we have in the cards that I'm working with or the decks that I'm working with for all my astrological profiles, that will be the Heavenly Bodies deck from Lily Ashwell and the Pagan Otherworlds. The Pagan Otherworlds, um, which is created by USI, UUSI Design. They're based out of Michigan. And the Heavenly Bodies, okay, the Heavenly Bodies deck focuses on the planets, the signs, their elements, transits. It's a wonderful deck. It's very straightforward. The images are very soft, and it's a deck that I can incorporate with various tarot decks because it's not so busy. Um, it's very soft and it just has a few keywords. And this is what I like with decks like this. Just very simple, um, not so graphic or photographic um, centric when it comes to depicting signs and planets. So, okay, Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by the element of air. People see the water bearer, the person who is actually holding a vessel and pouring water down. And so there tends to be some confusion that it's dealing, and it's known as the water bearer, that it is a water sign and it is not. The water sign that comes after this is Pisces, so this is air. And I'll go into this why Aquarius is associated with air. Aquarius is known for being innovative, seeing things differently, looking beyond the realm of what people normally see. Aquarius represents out of the norm. Um, they're progressive, as one of the key words here. They like to see things move forward. The planet that is associated with Aquarius, there's actually two planets. Uh, the traditional planet is Saturn, okay, which we have associated with Capricorn. So again, Saturn, we're looking at a stillness that comes with Aquarius when it comes to its ideals. Not so much, well, not so much stillness, but more of a focus, which is perfect for this planetary influence of Saturn to be the traditional ruler for Aquarius, because it allows all those ideas, all the shifts that Aquarians would like to see in the world, but put it more into focus. They will work hard to get their message across. They're also philanthropers. They like to look for things that involve the better interest of certain environmental, political organizations. Environmentally, for nature, political, for governmental change. Aquarius is the radical. They're the ones that, they want to see it. They're the ones that you would probably see at protests, potentially leading protests or speaking on behalf of a community because of their devotion and their dedication and their both strong convictions to their ideals and their beliefs. The other planet that is associated with Aquarius, and it's one of the outer planets. The outer planets are Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. They're outer planets or modern planets because these three planets were found later on, like in the late 1800s, I believe. So those attributes play more of an influence as to the shifts that were going on at the time that the planet was discovered. So with Uranus, there's only one key word on here, and that is radical change. There's not too much going on in this card at all, but the influence of Uranus when the planet was discovered, it was discovered at a time when things were changing. Technology was changing, like the Industrial Revolution, introducing new forms of ways of working, progressing for the betterment of society and for the world. And that's around the time that Uranus was discovered because all these shifts were going on, just like the digital age right now. Uranus, I'm certain, played a big influence when digital was starting to become more prominent, which was probably about 30 years ago or so, even older, even beyond that. I think the first PC came out in the late 60s or 70s. But Uranus is ruled by air. Saturn is ruled by earth, just to briefly discuss about the elements. So Uranus, influence of air. So we're looking at that wide expansiveness that Uranus needs so that they have that ample environment to work and to do what they feel is best needed. Saturn comes in because it puts in that focus and that discipline, but at the same time, Aquarius, because it is an air sign, it needs that space to move, to express, and to communicate with other people. Aquarius is also a sign associated with community, with friends. Aquarius comes from a place where they want to connect with people. They want to hear what they have to say. They want people to be like-minded in the way that they think. They want to meet with people like that. But very community-centric. That's the premise of it. Aquariuses are great in communes, in groups. Not so much individual. They work better if there's a partner or a few people involved. That's their support for Aquarius. And that rules the 11th house of the 12 houses of astrology. So we have here friends, like-minded groups, humanitarian beliefs, very, very much focus on change. And that's where that influence of Uranus comes in. So that fuels, that inspires Aquarius. They meet someone that connects with them, and usually Aquariuses enjoy working with people that are different in the sense, not so much how they look, but also their appearance, the way that they present themselves. As radical as their approach, Aquarius is towards things, is as radical as they probably come across with their presentation of who they are. You know, a unique way of dressing, hair color, makeup, piercings, tattoos, all of that. But they're not in that sense egocentric. They're just very unique in their own way, and that's very natural for an Aquarius. The sign, or I'm sorry, the archetype that is associated with Aquarius is the Fool, and the Fool is associated with the planet Uranus, but also the World. The World was the card that we brought in with Capricorn, because the World is ruled by, or is associated with Saturn. The energy is different. The Saturnian energy of Capricorn, in association with the World, is going to be different with the Saturnian energy that Aquarius has in association with the World. Okay, so with Aquarius, like I mentioned, we're looking at a wider spectrum. They want to see the world change. They want to see it grow. You know, introducing technology, being innovative, you know, being creative with things, but being very, very unique. And that's one of the things that Aquarius likes to focus so much on. They want to be in that place where they're the ones that did this. You know, they're the ones that they're the ones that that inspire, be the change that the world wants to see. So let's focus here a little bit with the Fool. Okay, the Fool again is associated with Uranus. So with the Fool card, we normally see at the beginning. I usually put the Fool card at the end of my major arcana, because it is the next experience that happens. So, but in this case here, the Fool is starting a journey. It could be the next part or of a journey, or someone who is younger, they're about to go and explore a new job or leave home for the first time. It's just that openness. Anything is possible. There is that excitement for what's going to happen. And, you know, as always, we have that ledge. And the Fool is always depicted at times just looking straight ahead, just being so overwhelmed by what they're seeing, the grandness of everything, but not looking straight ahead. And we have the loyalty of the dog, or there's different creatures that represent the companionship that the Fool has while it's on its journey. So that companion can be a wonderful, uh, guide in regards for like watching out, watch your step. You know, hopefully in this journey with the Fool, its influences will let the Fool know to be careful, watch where you're going. So with Aquarius, we want to see this kind of energy where literally the world is their oyster. They see so much potential, they see so much shifts that is possible. But don't let it overwhelm, because Aquarius may have such a strong perspective and outlook for making all these changes, whether within a small community, or governmental or corporation. Try not to Aquarius, try not to feel like you need to conquer everything, and I don't feel that's naturally what they like to do, but sometimes that energy can be so, so exciting, and seeing all the possibilities and being original in the way that you're approaching this, that you may feel like you have to do this, you know? And that's fine, but don't push yourself, Remember, you may be the center of this, but you also have that support group around you. Don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. Find the right group of people that you feel is best needed to support your beliefs, your ideals. And once you have that group of people, again, like-minded individuals, people that think differently, and they will support you, they will guide you to help you get to where you want to be. And it ends up being not so much you, it becomes a group effort because everyone is on the same page. And so that's with the Fool, looking ahead, which is fine, but also be aware of your circumstances. Know that there's more that's out there that you may not be seeing. And so that Uranus energy of change, quick shifts, sudden a sudden shift in direction in what's going on. Be prepared for that, because it may happen, these changes, but may not happen in the direction that you would like. And that's sometimes not posed upon from yourself, but that is something that can come from an outside source. So you may have these changes that may not put you in that direction, but you have to be open to it, because maybe this change is meant to happen and it's going to place you in an area that you weren't expecting. So again, when it comes to Saturn, okay, we're talking about working more with the discipline and the focus of where you want to be. Very important for Aquarius. Stay focused. And then with the World card, remember the World card is going to have a different take from Capricorn versus Aquarius. Capricorn's take of the world is coming from a place of personal success. Capricorn is a sign that likes to work hard, and they are extremely dedicated. They push themselves sometimes a little bit too much, just to get to where they want to be. They're very goal-oriented, very career-oriented. So their relationship, Capricorn and Saturn, to the world is that discipline. Once they get to a certain point, a certain level of success, there is a sense of self-fulfillment. And that's almost very reflective of their world. It's like, I did this, I completed it, I got it done in this way. I conquered challenges that came in. You did everything that you did to get to that point, and therefore you literally feel like you're on top of the world. Okay. And just sort of feeling that moment of, yes, it's, it was worth all the hard work, so on and so forth. But this again is coming from a place of completion, feeling whole, because everything that you did, and this could be changes within yourself, shows that there was a benefit from it, that there was growth, that there was completion, there was satisfaction that came from it. And that comes with that influence of Saturn, working through struggles, getting through with it, remaining disciplined, working within your own personal limits as well as those around you. Saturn's influence with Aquarius, okay? And I have to also talk about the star card, because the star is associated with Aquarius, and I have to grab that card because I thought I had it here. Aquarius with Saturn again, puts all these ideas and everything, but more into a structure, more in a direction. So this influence of Saturn, as I mentioned earlier, is very, very important. I think more so than Uranus, because it puts, and Aquarius is a fixed sign, so it allows that, um, even though they want change, they don't want anyone to come in and change their ideals. They don't want any outside sources to come in and influence their beliefs, because they are strongly devoted and convicted in what they believe in. So any outside influence that may come in, Aquarius isn't going to have any part of it. So the star card associated with Aquarius. Okay, so the star card is more or less the outcome of Aquarius's efforts. Okay, it's sort of interesting because when you look at Temperance, okay, Temperance is holding those two vessels, but the water is going in and out. It's balancing these energies. But here, this is from the pagan otherworlds. Here's one depiction of where water's being poured onto the earth, but also water being put back into the water. Water is the healing. The water that's being poured out of this vessel onto the earth is showing the results. It's showing the efforts that's being put in through the energy of the star. Star card is one of healing. And ideally, that's where Aquarius is coming from. Not that they want to heal the world, but healing involves shifts, involves changes, it involves modifying some things just to get to that point. But in this process with the star card, it is a form of healing. It is a form of letting go of things from the past and having a different perspective, having a different outlook. The star card here, I feel, is more spiritual. It's that healing. It's that outcome, like what Capricorn gets with the World card, but with the star card, it's seeing the betterment of things, ideally. And this card can also be one of high hopes, dreams, because we are wanting to make things move in a better direction, whether it's for yourself or within certain organizations that you're working with, communities you would like to see changes. And I feel this is where we are right now. At this point, we really need to make some changes. And I'm not going to go on a political, personal tyrant about this, but shifts are very important. So with this month of Aquarius, if there is something that you feel really strongly about that you want to vocalize, but vocalize it from a place where you would like to, see some changes. Don't be one-sided about it. Aquarius is, about progression, and working with other people. It's teamwork. It's not one person, and it involves someone starting, initiating all these, potentialities, but finding again people who think like that and having that drive to make these changes for the betterment, for the safety of that community or for that organization, and also for protection as well. We have to have things that, even though you could go to demonstrations or do strikes or anything like that, we have to be careful how that energy goes, because a lot of these organizations or gatherings can explode, and it can go in such a way where it becomes violent, which we've seen in recent years, where there's no control. The idea came from a great place and it grew, but then what happened was something happened. It got heated, it expanded too much, and then it got to a point where it grew and there was no control. And then that's where that's where things can start unraveling. So that's why the discipline aspect of that planet ruling Aquarius is very important. You want to keep things in order, but still get your message across. Still, still put in those efforts to make those changes. So that's a general profile of Aquarius. And so even if you're not an Aquarius, myself, I have no Aquarius in my chart. I like to incorporate these signs because you learn from these signs. You learn from their characteristics. You learn by their perspectives, what the negatives are, what the positives are. These are things that you can learn from other people. And so even though I don't have Aquarius, I still associate with the characteristics of an Aquarian, making these changes, having a message to state, trying to share information with others, like myself and hundreds of thousands, millions of people around the world who have social media. We have a voice. We want to express what we feel is very important to us. So that's how I identify with Aquarius, because of that drive, making things change, but finding that group of people to support you. So that's what we have here for Aquarius. So again, remember the Fool, okay, ruled by Uranus. So it's that expression of what you're strongly believed in, to make these changes, but also being open. Don't be so closed-minded. Saturn again comes in with, if you have these ideas, remain open, but also make sure you put things in a set path. Don't start pulling ideas all over the place because they're not going to get anywhere. You have to have, if you're going to do a debate, or if you're going to, be part of a community, you have to have a focus. You have to have a direction. And then again, Aquarius ruling the 11th house, which is very, very strong in working with people, and showing the human side of what needs to be changed, from famine to political uprisings. What can you do? What can we do? What can you do to make these changes? And again, coming from a place with the star, where it's just simple. It's just making these changes that we feel will be better, that would heal the planet, that could heal a community, that could allow a change in view of things. It's hard. It's very hard to do this, but for those who are making these kinds of shifts at a grander scale, because they believe in their neighborhood needs a change, with their community, political, personal, whatever, it can happen, but it takes a large army of people to make changes of that magnitude. So there you have it for Aquarius. This is my perspective of Aquarius. They're influenced by the planets of Uranus and Saturn, and the Fool card, which is ruled by Uranus, and the World card, ruled by Saturn, and the Star card for the major arcana archetype, and of course the 11th house. I will be doing readings for all the elemental signs for the month of Aquarius over the next few days. So being that Aquarius is the air sign, I'm going to start with the air signs first, and then we have Pisces coming up next month, so I'm going to do it in that sequence. So I'll do the air signs first, water signs, and then we have Aries, fire, and then I'm going to end it with the earth signs. So these will be readings that will be associated for influence during the month of Aquarius. And I usually just do like around 3 cards just to do a quick overview for that month for each sign. Okay, happy birthday again, Aquarius. Make those changes, be the change that the world would like to see, be the influence that you feel that you can provide to people through your ideas and through your convictions and through your beliefs of looking for the betterment, the well-being of humans, for our environment, for our government, anything like that. If you feel strongly about it, go and chase it. Go and make it happen, but get that support group. Find those people who believe and think like you to make that happen. Okay. All righty. The next one will take place, the next tarot astrology profile will be in the sign of Pisces, and that will probably be, I think that is February 19th or the 20th. I think it's the 20th. So any questions, of course, leave them in the comments below. And I will catch you in the next few days with these readings I have coming up for you. Thanks so much for the support, and I will see you again soon.